Bonjour, Zaogijigo Gano Indigo, Dashkunzi Bing and Dunjba, Mishiken Dodem. So my English name is Monty McGahey. Monty McGahey, Shaganashi Winakaziya, Chippewa the Thames and the Bendagos. I'm a member of Chippewa the Thames First Nation, which is in southwestern Ontario. So what I'm going to talk to you tonight about is obviation with transitive animate verbs in Nishnaabemwin. So what I'm hoping is that you're already familiar with the different types of verbs, so VAI, VTA, VTI, and A form and B form. If you're not familiar with those, you can go back and look into our other YouTube videos, our YouTube channel, Eshki-nishnaabemjig. We have other past students and past facilitators that did some teaching on Zoom last spring, and they did a really good job of kind of explaining some of these things in the language. And so all of those teachings that were done on Zoom are recorded on YouTube. So if you're not familiar with those, with the grammar terminology, you can go back and watch those and then come back and watch this part. How? So what the heck is obviation? Anishkona obviation eawam. So one is when two alive things are in a sentence, one has to be the main character, or it's called the proximate actor. So I'll go through this. So obviation distinguishes which alive things are being acted upon, the background actor in a sentence. So we think of the main character. In this case, in this picture, we always think of Batman as the main character, and then Robin is like his sidekick. And I have sentence bolded because the main character, the proximate actor, could change throughout the story. So it could be Batman's the main character of this sentence, and then the next sentence it could be Robin. So we'll get into some examples of those. So proximate versus obviative. So proximate, the main person. Obviative is kind of like the background character, the background support, or the person being acted on. So a third person acting on another third person. So I'll just kind of review what the person hierarchy, I guess, is in kind of linguistic terms. So first person is I or me, which is neen. Second person is you, gin. Third person is he, she, him, or her, ween. And then we go through, and then goes all the way down to the seventh person, which is they or them, and that's weenwa. So a third person could also be an animate object. So for example, kick a pot is considered animate. So we'll just go through the context of some animate nouns that are obviated. So when we say my mother in gashe, and then to say his or her mother, gashwan. So we call that animated and or obviated ending, the one. So nos, my father, o son, his or her father. So this is one context in which animate nouns are obviated. Donis, my daughter, Don's son, his or her daughter. Gwis, Gwisan. Shomis, Shomson. Nokomis, Okomis son. So here's some other examples of animate nouns that when they're obviated. So kwewug, kwewan. And we'll get more examples of what context you use these in. So so you just think of the plural, kwewug, and then you put an N at the end, kwewan. Ninwug, ninwan. Kwezasug, kwezassun. Guzensug, guzentsun. Tagug, tagun. Shimanug, shimanan. So I'm just putting the plural of these words up. But when you obviate them, it could be singular or plural. So kwe one could be talking about one woman, or you could be talking about more than one. And then all the way down. So nin one could be saying a man, or you could be saying men. It's just the context of the story would dictate who you're talking about or how many you're talking about. So same thing with mitagun, could be one tree, could be more than one. Shimanan could be one apple, it could be more than one. So Nishnaabemwin word order can be flexible in comparison to English. So the man is talking to the woman. Niokwewan gununan nene. That's one way you could say it. Nene gununan niokwewan. That's another way you could say it. Nene niokwewan gununan. Oh, I'll just go back. So those are just three different ways you can see the different word combinations. And they all mean the same thing. The man is talking to the woman. So in English, we usually need one way of saying it. The man is talking to the woman, or you could say the woman is being talked to by the man. But yeah, we can't say the man, woman talking to, or talking to man, woman, or to the woman talking the man. Doesn't make sense. But in the language, we can interchange those. And there's other markers like the kwe one. So because of the one, we know that the woman is being talked to. And then because the nene isn't nin one, we know he's the proximate actor, I guess, the one that's doing the action. So I'll just kind of do a comparison of first person. So I'm talking to the woman. I'm talking to that woman. Doganuna okwe. So in Daganuna, I'm talking to him or her. Daganuna. Oh, that person. Kwe, woman. And then you have different, you might have a different way of saying that person. Like you might say wa. But in this case, the in the ah is like saying me to him or her. So then we go to second person. Daganuna okwe. You're talking to that woman. So the Daganuna, you're talking to him or her. Oh, that person. Kwe, woman. Niniganunan niokwe one. So the man is talking to the woman. Nene, man, ganunan. So you notice there's nothing in the front. There's just an ending to that. The an, ganunan. She's talking to him or her. New. Those. So new means those inanimate objects in a regular sentence, like new, those things over there, or an obviated person or people. So in this context, it's just one person, new koi one. So that's when you're obviating the woman, that new is there to say that woman. So kwe is woman and the kwe one obviated. So we have Shrek and Donkey. So I just use donkey here because that's his name in the movie. I didn't use the word for donkey. So Shrek Ganunan Donkey-an. So when there's a proper name, I guess, Shrek is talking to Donkey. Shrek Ganunan Donkey-an. So you just add the on to the name, Donkey-an. So even in English names, we'll put that usually on at the end. So if I were to say Shrek is talking to Clarice, Shrek is talking to Clarice, Shrek Ganunan Clarice-an. So I just add that. I'm putting that marker at the end of her name to show that she's the one being talked to. So just to review these sentences. In Daganuna Okwe, I'm talking to that woman. Daganuna Okwe, you're talking to that woman. Ganuna New Kwewan, she is talking to that woman. So I just put it in this order, just to, like the word order, just to kind of keep it consistent, I guess, and understandable. I could have said Neo Kwewan Ganunan, or yeah. So the fourth picture, Shrek Ganunan Donkey-an. Shrek is talking to Donkey. So that's the fourth picture, not the fourth person. So other sentence example, Batman Wij Gabwit Tuan Robinan. So We have Batman standing with Robin. So I kind of highlighted the root part, the wijigabweto, and then we're just adding the on. So he's standing with him, wijigabwetuan, Robinan. So that's just a basic basic verb where it's where he's not necessarily doing something to him. He's just standing with him, like he's not, but it's still, it works the same way. So to stand with someone. So Shrek wijigabwetuan donkeyan. So same thing. We're still putting that alveolative ending. He's, the action that he's doing to him is he's standing with him. So here's a list. Windamwan, she's telling him or her. Kitewan, she's hitting him or her. Wabman, she sees him or her. Nadamuan, she's helping him or her. Wijiwan, she's accompanying him or her. Moan, she's eating him or her, or it animate. Moan gikoyin. So in this case, like we think of, oh, he's eating a person, but we also, there's the food that's considered animate. So even when it's cooked, or other foods like potato or an apple, those foods that are considered animate, you'd use this verb if you're explaining, oh, he's eating fish. So some dialects, the plural of fish is gigoyik. So then you just change it to gigoyin. And then, yeah, use the moan. So moan or damoan gigoyin. So we'll get into some examples from various stories. So this one is from the story called The Doctor's Love Medicine, which is from the book called weshki-anishinaabemojig. So I'll read this. So Gagijitawa Dashma Kinamadio Gamabungai Maba Nishnabants Gikinomwan Yu Chimokuman Antsan Yu Gekendang Wikwebijigan. When they had finished the course of study at the university, this young Indian taught that young white American the love medicine which he knew. So gi kinomwan, so you have the tense marker gi, kinomwan, the ending, and then you have the new there. And then gichamokuman etsun. So he doesn't use, you don't really see anything that says young Indian or young American. So the word for American, chimokuman. So he's using the diminutive chimokuman ants. He's calling the American guy the little knife. So he's using that to say young chimokuman ants son. So he's being acted upon. So, and then the Anishinaabe, it was the young Anishinaabe. Anishinaabenski kinomanu chimokumanetsan. So he's got this in the sentence, he's got it kind of in order that we understand in English. The young Anishinaabe taught him the young American. So from the same story, Midashma Bashkinikwe Giawan Wichkiwayan Gay Gizog an Nushkinwen. So this young woman had a man friend and she loved that man. So again, I bolded the main verb had, so saying she had a so she had him Giyawan, she had him or her. And then Wichkiwayan, so the friend part is obviated. And then she's saying, and then it says, and gae gizagan niushkinwen. And she loved him gizagan niushkinwen. So she loved him, that young man. So shkinwe is young man, and then they obviated by just adding that n at the end there, shkinwen. So another one from the same story. Gikinman dashmaba shkikyunene gego jianednyo shkinikwen. So the doctor knew, so in this case it's saying the doctor knew, him or her, that there's something wrong with the young woman. So if you see the word for doctor isn't at the beginning, it's gikenman, so he knew, him or her. And then it says dashmaba mishkikinene, so mishkikinene is further down in the sentence. But we know he's the one doing the acting because he's not obviated. He doesn't have mishkikinene. So he's the one acting. And then gego, something. And then jia is just to feel a certain way. So jianid is the in VAIs, that's the B form or conjunct form of an obviated person. So jianid, and then niu again, and then shkinikwen, so young woman. So in the translation, it's like he knew her, this doctor, something she felt, the young woman. So the action is him knowing her. So this one's from a story called 30,000 Islands, from the book Sounding Thunder. Minwa shkinikwensan apaji gibuanan ensadibakuk gibuanan shkinikwensan. And it was that a certain young woman came to appear in his dreams every night he dreamed of her. So when I think of, we do this in English too, the speaker kind of doubles down on it. So he says, Minwa and Eshki-nishnaabemjig, this young woman. So we know by this, Eshki-nishnaabemjig, there's an action. She's the obviative person. Apaji gibuanan. He dreamt of her. So in the context, we don't know who's dreaming of her, but we know that it's not her that's dreaming because she has the an at the end. So someone else is apaji gibuanan. And Sadibakuk every night, and then says it again, Gibuanan, Eshki-nishnaabemjig. So first he puts Eshki-nishnaabemjig first in this sentence, Eshki-nishnaabemjig, Apji Gibuanan, and Sadibakuk, and then he goes back and then he puts the Eshki-nishnaabemjig second, Gibuanan, Eshki-nishnaabemjig. So every night he dreamed of her. So in English, it says a woman came to appear in his dreams. but he's just saying the same thing. He dreamed of her. He dreamed of her. So in the same story, Misa iyo kinagomzuema ginasan shishiban ge ginasan kinagogego ginatun misako minazang migomijit. He went around killing everywhere. He went around everywhere killing ducks and other animals, and everything that he killed was cooked and cleaned. So Misa'il Kinago Mizoe, so he everywhere, Gin and San Shishiban, he killed ducks. So in this context of the story, he's killing more than one. Ge Gin San Kinagogego. So this part's interesting because he repeats himself and he says he killed him or her, he killed him or her or them. And then he says kinagego, everything, gin and tune, which is he killed the inanimate things, gin and tune. And then he switches to inanimate things. So for the rest of the sentence, so gin and tune, he killed it, the kinagego. Misako minazang migo mijit. And then he switches into cooking and eating. Uses the VTI versions. So again, same story. O wawatko ge oshkinwe, wawatko moan yo nake, ge gago nasidu nuan. A young woman was waving her hand, beckoning him to come that way. He seemed to almost recognize her. So this is where this one switches. So wawatko ge oshkinikwe. So she's not obviated, so she's the one doing the action. Wawatko moan yo nake. So she was waving for him to come that way. And then it switches to him being the actor. Gegago Sidonawan. He almost seemed to recognize her. Because there's the other way you could say an alveolar person is doing something to a proximate person, which we'll get into soon, but this was just a little interesting thing where the speaker goes from the Shkinikoi being the main person doing the action and then switches the very next sentence to the other character being the main person. So this is from a story called Paint Sugmino Animki Gatsokan from Getchapitujik Dabajmog. So Gawi Wea Benojian Naim She Doyawasian Dog Gishkoan Dash Wigoma Bakwe Benojian Dakweman Mabanine. They had no children yet, but this woman was pregnant, this man's wife. So the first one, Galwea, no one, Benojian, children, obviated. They didn't, so the negative part comes in C. So that's how it was kind of written in the book. And I put this in brackets, the scene, because that's how I would think it would be said. So Diawasian, so it was written in the book. They had no children. So that's the action. They don't have them. And so the children are obviated because they're the ones that they don't have. But this woman was pregnant. So Dogishkoan, he or she is pregnant with him or her. Dogishkoan Dashwigo, but and then Mabakwe. So the Kwe is not obviated, so I'm guessing she's the one that's pregnant with somebody. And then Benojian is at the end with a child or children. So the Kwe man Mabanina. So this is where another way to say his or her woman, I guess. The Kwe man Mabanina. So we're saying the man, it's this man's wife, the Kwe man. And so it's showing that relationship when you add that obviated thing onto the noun. So there's no verbs in this sentence, the C sentence here. So it's just showing the relationship the man has to the woman. It's not saying like he owns her or that's his property or anything. Just saying da koy man ma banine. Like that's the relationship that they have. So from the same story, Gawigego nibana dayawa sin niwe kikun. And she does not have very many pots. So here's one where the pots are animate things. So you're telling the story, she doesn't have any pots, or she doesn't have very many. Gawigego nibana diyawa sin, using the animate to have something, and then the negative, diyawa sin. And then you see the new or the newe. So that's another way to use that, the new or the newe. Kikun. So the obviated. So the plural of kik would be kikug. So when you obviate it, kikun. Again, from the same story. The Mwadigenan Konagadama Newe Bimadzunjin Nishnaben. He's probably eating these humans, the Nishnaabek. So I highlighted this because it's not the AAN ending on this. So this is another way of saying like probably or must be. So him to them, or him to them, or him to him or her. He's probably more again. So that's the ending to say like he's probably doing something. And in this case the verb is eating, which is represented by the MW, the mo. So the Mwadigenan, he's probably eating them. Newe Bimadzunjin. So we have the word for people, Bimadzujik. But now he's obviating that, So Bimadzujik is basically Madze, which is he or she is alive. Madze. He or she is alive or living, and then you make it into a noun, a plural noun, Bimadzujik, and then because you want to obviate it because they're the ones that's probably being eaten, so Bimadzunjin. And then he added Nishnaaben. So the Nishnaabek. So these humans, the Nishnaabek, Nishnaaben. So just to kind of go back again, just a quick review. nene ganunan niyo koyawan, nene man, ganunan. He's talking to him or her, new, which means either those inanimate objects or the obviated person, and then koyawan. So if I wanted to keep the woman obviative and say that she's talking to the man, I'll say niyo koyawan ganunagon nene. So nene, man, ganunagun. So it changes from on to agun. He, she, obviative is talking to him or her. Niyo, kwe one. So third person. So donkey on ganunagun shrek. So we're keeping donkey obviated. We're keeping him as a background character in the sentence. Ganunagun shrek. So going through the same list that I did before with the on, he or she's telling him or her obviative. So now we're doing the obviative person is now doing something to the main character in the sentence. So windamagun, kitegun, wabmagun, nadamagun, wijiugun, magun or odomogun. Here she obviative is eating something animate. So I don't know if maybe the fish is the main character and the boy is the background character, or you want to say the fish is the background character and he started eating the boy. Domogun. So here's some examples. Gamapidash gim kamagun bejik shkinikwenyo guzentman. In time, however, a certain young woman took her young man away from her. So this is from the Doctor's Love Medicine again. So I italicized the here because I think the root verb is makam. So I would, just my guess, it would be gimakam gun. But this is how it was written in the book, gimakamagun. So I don't know if that's a typo or if that's how the speaker had said it. And so I highlighted take away because you kind of have to separate it in this English context, but the verb means to take something away from someone. So in time, gamapi dash, however, gim kamagun bejik shkinikwen. So in this case, it's the shkinikwen that's doing it now because it's the gun, and she took away new guizentman. So there's two obviative actors happening here. But the person that they took it away from her, she's not in the sentence. It's kind of just going along in the story. So Gima Kumagun Bejik Eshki-nishnaabemjig. So it was the Eshki-nishnaabemjig that took away New Guzensman. Her, in this case, it means boy. Guzens means boy, but then the context of this story, saying like her man or her young man. That's how the speaker is kind of saying that. So again, from the Love Doctor's Medicine story. Midashki kwe jamad anishajiayan. O dashkini kwe giwindamoanio mukomagut bejik bakanzinjin. Shkini kwen guzensman. Then he asked her, what's ailing you? Then the young woman told him that another young woman had robbed her of her young man. So midash gi kwe jamad. So we're getting into B form of him or her doing something to him or her. So it's not kwe jaman, it's the B form kwe jamad. So he asked her, then he asked her. Anishajiayan. Odash shkinikwe. The young woman told him, Ki windamuan. The young woman told him, Iyo makam good. So there's that root. Now it's just makam again. Or makam, I mean. And then it's the B form of, so we have agun, which is A form, and then good, which is B form. So the obviated person took something from her. Iyo makam good bejik bekans in jin. The different one, or the different ones. Shkini Kwen, the young woman, another different one, Bekans and Jin Shkini Kwen, a different woman, took her young man, Guzensman. So you see the word order is the young woman told him, someone took something from her, one different woman, or different young woman, her young man. So this one is kind of the weird verb of je, and it changes in different ways in the language. So in this case, you don't see it at all. You just see the ending, gun. So gi gun dash il jijwan magot, gego janara magot, manjidik pio ge duenda mogwen, je widu kagot. It told him that it would bless him and that it would help him at any time, whatever, when he might want it to help him. So this is from the story, the mirror being. It's talking about a mirror that told him. So he told him, Gigun, that it would bless him. Jijuen magut. So the igut ending, the B form of the obviated person acting on the main character. Ge janata magut. So the B form to help, the obviated person is going to help him, the main character, janata magut. Manjidik P, whenever. Ge the wenda mogwen, whatever you might want. Jawidu kagut, whatever it might want to help him with. So the agut is the B form of the using the obviated person to the main character, or to the proximate person. So this one's from Nanabojo Mina Newe Shishibayon, from the book Ottawa Stories from the Springs. Gawin dashki kenamagosi newe Nanabojo with Shishibayon. Ki biskama get we gonga. Thus the ducks did not know it was really Nanabojo disguised as a woman when he had the dress on. So this is the negative part. Ikenamagosin. The obviative person didn't know him. Newe. So in the book they wrote the new or newe with ease, newe, instead of the eyes, new, newe. Nanabojo would to be Nanabush. They didn't know that he was Nanabojo, Shishibayan. So the Shishibayan is obviated and they're doing the action. We know that because of the ego. But then there's the negative, so we know that they don't know. Gawin Eshki-nishnaabemjig newe Nanabojo would. They didn't know it was Nanabojo. And there's no word to say disguised here. That's just the translation of the story, but all it says is Gibiskama Ged Weko. He had a dress on, that he had a dress on. So here's an example of the je verb to say to someone, how it's used two different ways. So we go the regular way, the on, or I guess the n would be the verb in this case. So the je turns into the n. So I should have had that bolded, the n, dinan, right here. So gawi gibamadisi dinanish giyama banana bojo. Ginisago sana inawe wode pakakut ga denakamagak mio de ga de pitagoyan. Bumadisago de gun shkian shimayan. You're not alive, Nanabojo must have responded to his younger brother. You were killed while you were playing ball hockey. That is where you died. Oh, but I'm still alive, Nanabojo was told by his younger brother. So this is from the story Nanabojo Minwa Makok. So saying you're not alive, going Gigi Bamadzasi Denan Eshki-nishnaabemjig Nanabojo. So he said to him, or Gia is like the Gia, supposedly, apparently. So Nanabojo must have responded to his brother. Denan Eshki-nishnaabemjig Nanabojo. So that's he says it to him or her. And then Bamadisago. Oh, but I'm still alive. Degun Shkian, apparently Newe Shimayan. So his younger brother, who's still obviated, he's still the background actor. He responded to him, Degun. So Degun Shkian Newe Shimayan. So they translated as Nanabojo was told by his younger brother. So you don't see Nanabojo's name in here, but that's how it's understood because of the Degun. Could have just said he is told by his younger brother. Example from Pain Sagmino Nimki Gon Sokan Nai Gibewindamagun Nai Gikwejimagun Degon Sagana Jishamawad Nanda Nai Gumagana Minik. He came and told him to feed him so much. So Gibewindamagun, so the obviative person, whoever that is, told the main person. Na'i Gikwejimagun. So the speaker is kind of he's first he said he came and told him, and then he changed it to he asked him, and then Diguan, which is Dagun, but it's written as Diguan in this book. So Sogana Jishamawa and Na'i Gama Gana Manik. So he came and told him to feed him so much. So it's almost like he's saying three different things, a speaker, and as he's telling the story, when he came and told him, he asked him, he said to him. So he's almost like tripling down on what this person is saying, but he's still using the same ending, the igun, even though it's written different. Jishamawad. So he came and told him, for the main character, Jishamawad, to feed him, or even them. He came and told him for them to feed him, Shamawad, which is in B form, so much. So this is from the same story. Gawi mamda bugo jijapa mish goeta wi babitud manjna idek magege go gabaduda gonnewe. He cannot go anywhere and has to wait what is going to happen to him. He's wondering that maybe he will come and harm him too. Yeah, so he's the main character. He manjna idik magege. So he's wondering if, and it doesn't say harm, it just says do something. Like the dude part is the root to do something to someone. But in the context of the story, he knows he's going to do something that's going to harm him, I guess. So gabaduda gonnewe. So he's wondering if that guy is going to come and do something to him, that obviated person. Oh, yeah, that's it, I guess. So there's the references there for all of the books, if you wanted that. I don't know if there's any questions that anyone has. Feel free to ask away.
I got a question.
Yep.
Well, what's your favorite color? I'm just kidding.
It changes. My favorite color, Mskwande, Magi Eminande. I know there was a part that I had my presentation kind of froze and then I skipped ahead, but I was trying to go kind of show this again, proximate to obviative, and then show the obviated person going back, and then get into that. So Nanatik has something in the chat. The man talk to the women versus the man talk to the woman. Yeah, so from how I know it, it would just be the same. Actually, yeah, it's already written here. So for me, it would just be the same. Niniganuna niokwewan. So it's just the context of the story that you would know whether it's one or two, or you could say Niniganunan nish kwewan. But it's the same. There's no like plural obviated ending for transitive. Or you couldn't say kwe one nug or kwe one nun. You just keep the same kwe one.
I have a question, if you have the time.
Yep.
What about like how do you deal with like fourth on fifth kind of stuff? I've been meaning to bring this to one of the speakers, but like something that came up recently was and then his dog was barking at his girlfriend. How do you approach that?
So
is that just multiple fourth people?
Yeah, so one would be like let's see, where is it? When she talked about her man.
Oh yeah.
One would be like so you'd have one. So what was your sentence again?
His dog was barking at his girlfriend.
Yeah, so it would be like obviated, his dog. So you could say Diane, his dog. And then Migaan. And then that's where you could put the Kweman, his woman, or the Buzzgiman, or whatever you use. But it would be like the kind of like the what do you call it? The possessive. So Diane, Migan, the Kweman. That's how I would approach it anyway.
And I know like I've been safely visiting Barbara recently, and she used ogiknunan giwiwan, right? So third person talk to your wife, right? So she used that, which is groovy, makes sense, I get it. But how I'm waiting to hear the like I talked to her grandmother or her grandmother talked to me. Like I'm not sure if that's just covered under Ngikanu na Okamisan. I don't know if it's covered under that or if there's something else that's used.
Yeah, like how I would, like from what I've seen and heard, like if I want to say I talk to him or her grandmother, so it would be Okamisan, or however you do it. Some people say Okamisan or an Okamisan. So that's how I think it would be. I talk to her grandmother. And I think there's endings for like I talk to the obviated person, but the speakers that I've talked to don't use that. I forget what it is. Might have to look it up.
Iman or
Iman.
Ima. Yeah.
So it's a Giganu Nama. Yeah. So, but the speakers that I asked about this, they didn't use that ending. They just said the normal Giganu Na.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Kikununa. Miigwech.
Oh. Any other questions? Pretty straightforward. You're now fluent. Oh, so I guess if there's no questions, I guess that's it. Mi sa iyo ganabach. Weshki-anishinaabemojig. Hopefully this will be up on YouTube as well, so you can rewatch it if you have any questions or want to see it again. Oh, miigwech. Pama pi ko amen.